I'm Alex. I'm 25 years old, and what you're about to hear isn't just a story about learning English. It's a journey of transformation, a story of someone who once felt completely lost, someone who used to hate the sound of their own voice when speaking English, someone who felt ashamed just trying to say a simple sentence and still getting it wrong. 1 year ago, I was just like many others, waking up each day, grabbing my phone, and spending 4 to 5 hours scrolling through social media. Not to learn, just to escape the sinking feeling that I was falling behind. I laughed at memes, watched short funny clips, but when I put the phone down, there was only emptiness. Deep down, I knew I needed English. I knew it was the only door that could lead me to a better life, a better job, a better version of myself. But every time I tried, I failed. I bought grammar books, gave up halfway, downloaded English learning apps, deleted them after 3 days, watched English videos, but couldn't understand a single thing they were saying. And the worst part? Every time someone asked me, "Can you speak English?" I froze. I couldn't even say a simple sentence. In that moment, it wasn't just embarrassment I felt. It was defeat. I felt like a loser, like the whole world was moving forward, and I was being left behind. Job interviews made me shake with fear, and during group meetings, I just stayed silent. I felt small, like an outsider watching a fast-spinning world that I could never catch up to. Then one day, I suddenly realized something surprising. Everything, even social media, isn't as simple as it seems. It's not Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook that are the enemies. It's how I choose to use them. You can scroll for 3 hours and feel empty, with no progress at all. But you can also scroll for 3 hours and come out speaking better English, feeling more confident. That moment woke me up. I understood that English isn't just an ordinary language. It's real power, the key that opens the door to the world. And this realization saved me from feeling defeated and opened up a new journey full of hope. You might be the most talented person in the crowd, the smartest in your city, even the one with the greatest ideas. But if you cannot express your thoughts and dreams in English, the global language, opportunities will gradually slip away, like trains leaving the station that you just can't catch. The world doesn't have time to wait for you to catch up or sit around until you're ready. It's moving forward at a lightning pace. International conversations, big projects, dream jobs, all require the ability to communicate in English. If you can't speak it, you will be left behind, no matter how talented you are. You'll miss out on promotions, valuable relationships, and life-changing moments simply because of a barrier that seems small, but is actually huge: language ability. You might slowly accept a smaller version of yourself, the one who's always shy to speak, always standing on the sidelines, and never daring to fully express who you are. But you know what? I was once in that same position. I wasn't born into a wealthy family, I didn't have the chance to study abroad, and I didn't have native speakers around me to practice with. All I had was a phone, an internet connection, and a limited amount of time, which seemed so small and restrictive. Yet, it was from those seemingly simple things that I began to change. I realized that you don't need perfect conditions to start. As long as you have determination, willpower, and know how to make the most of the resources you have, you can open the door to the vast world out there. English is not just a language. It's the key that opens every door. From career opportunities, new knowledge, to international relationships and experiences you never imagined. The world may not wait for you, but you can definitely reach out, overcome barriers, and become a stronger version of yourself. A promise to myself. There was a moment when I sat staring at my phone screen and asked myself, what am I doing with my time? How can I change this? Right then, I made a promise to myself, a promise that still holds strong in my heart. I will no longer let social media take over my life. I will turn it into my teacher, my companion on the journey to learn English. It wasn't easy. I used to get lost among hundreds of meaningless videos, funny but useless memes, and endless rumors spreading online. But instead of mindlessly scrolling, I decided to turn every single minute on social media into an opportunity to learn, practice, and grow. I searched for real English lessons, conversation videos, and knowledge-sharing groups, slowly transforming what seemed like just entertainment into a free and effective classroom. And the results came, not because I enrolled in expensive courses or practiced with native speakers, but because I learned to use what I already had, social media, in a smart and strategic way. Today, I can speak English fluently, clearly present my ideas in meetings, confidently ace job interviews, and most importantly, communicate with people from all over the world, opening new doors for my life. If you think social media is just a place for entertainment, a thief of focus, let me prove you wrong. Social media can become your greatest teacher, if only you learn to master it and turn it into a tool to support your dreams. The journey begins. How I learned English through social media. I know you probably think that learning English means sitting in a classroom, buried in thick textbooks, or attending expensive courses. That's what I used to believe too. But I chose a different path. I learned English through everyday life, through the moments I spent scrolling on social media. Today, I want to share with you 10 practical, real-life methods I use to improve my English without any traditional books or classes. And to start, I'll tell you about the first two methods, because these are the foundation that set my entire journey in motion. These two approaches didn't just help me get familiar with English. They made me fall in love with the language and gradually build the confidence I needed to speak and understand better every single day. Are you ready? This journey begins with small steps, simple habits that anyone can adopt. These habits turned out to be the key that opened up a world of English far bigger and more exciting than I had ever imagined. You don't need fancy resources or hours of study. You just need to use what's already around you in a smarter way. Trust me, social media can be more than just entertainment. It can be your most powerful English teacher. The first step, clearing the noise and refreshing your social media. I used to open my phone and scroll mindlessly for hours, but afterward, I always felt empty and lost. The feed was full of meaningless videos, pointless drama, countless selfies, and cheap memes that wasted my time but gave me nothing in return. One night, lying on my bed, I felt a tightness in my chest. Not sadness or fatigue, but a deep disappointment in myself. I realized that if I kept letting my time be swallowed by useless content, I was only falling further behind. The next morning, I opened Instagram with a clear decision in my mind. I started unfollowing every page and person that didn't inspire or teach me anything valuable. Every account that posted endless selfies, every silly video made just for laughs, every negative news source, I unfollowed them all. I wasn't doing this to disrespect anyone, but because I cared about my own future. Then I rebuilt my social media feed as if it was my personal classroom. Instead of random entertainment, I sought out simple, clear, and inspiring English content. Slowly but surely, my feed transformed into a stream of motivation and English learning. I surrounded myself with posts like, "You were born to do more than just pay bills and die. If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive." And she believed she could, so she did. I didn't just read these sentences. I spoke them aloud, felt their meaning, and allowed their messages to sink deeply into my mind. After just 2 weeks of this focused effort, I noticed something incredible. My reading speed improved, my comprehension became sharper, and most importantly, I began thinking in English naturally. This was the turning point. When you change the way you think, you change the way you speak. And that first step, clearing out the noise, was the foundation for everything that came after. The second step, watching subtitled reels and learning like it's real life. One afternoon, I was sitting in a small cafe, my coffee slowly cooling beside me. My mind was restless, and my motivation felt like it was slipping away. Then, suddenly, a reel popped up on my phone screen. It doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop. At first, I barely understood the meaning. It sounded simple, almost cliché. But I decided to watch it again, this time with subtitles on. I read every single word carefully, letting them sink in slowly. Then I spoke the sentence out loud enough to hear myself clearly. In that moment, something shifted inside me. Those words weren't just a phrase. They were a lifeline. They held a power that went beyond English learning. They spoke directly to my heart. From that day on, I made a personal rule, a kind of ritual for myself. I would watch every English reel at least 3 times, read the subtitles carefully as if decoding a secret message, pause after each sentence to really understand it, speak each sentence out loud with clarity and confidence as if I were having a real conversation, feel the emotion behind the words, letting it inspire me, and save each meaningful video into a special Learn folder for review later. Another reel caught my attention. I'm tired, but I'm not quitting. Simple words, yet they carried a powerful message of resilience. I repeated that sentence over and over, 10 times at least, until it became a part of me. Days later, whenever exhaustion crept in, that phrase popped into my mind naturally, in English. Not because I forced myself to memorize it, but because I lived it. This method wasn't just about memorizing vocabulary or grammar. It was about bringing motivation, determination, and strength into my daily life, one reel at a time. Every short video became a tiny lesson in hope, perseverance, and courage. I wasn't just learning English. I was learning how to keep moving forward, no matter what. The third step, commenting in English every day. Have you ever read an interesting English caption and wanted to leave a comment, but then deleted it because you were afraid of making grammar mistakes or being judged? I used to feel the same way. The fear of making mistakes and being criticized kept me from speaking or typing in English. Then one day, I read a quote that woke me up. If you're not embarrassed by your first English sentence, you waited too long to start. This sentence was like a gentle but powerful challenge, reminding me that perfection doesn't come right away, and the important thing is to start. From that day on, I decided to leave at least one English comment every day under any post, even if it was just a few simple words. It didn't have to be long or grammatically perfect, just sincere. At first, I wrote very simple sentences like, "I needed this today. Thank you." The surprising thing was, the poster even replied to me, "You're welcome. Stay strong." That small reply made me feel connected, encouraged, and joyful to communicate in English. Gradually, I wrote more comments, one each day, and each day I gained a little more courage. After 30 days, I had written over 30 comments in English. They weren't long essays or fancy words, just real sentences, real words, and real feelings. Those comments became an important step that made me stronger, more confident, and truly part of the vast English-speaking world, not just someone standing on the sidelines. You can start with the simplest sentences too, and believe that just starting means you've already won half the battle. Using YouTube as a personal pronunciation coach, I discovered that YouTube is not just for entertainment, but also the biggest free pronunciation classroom in the world. Before, I watched YouTube just to kill time, but later I started searching for videos where people speak slowly, clearly, and with subtitles, especially TED Talks or English learning channels. I practiced a method called shadowing, which means repeating exactly after native speakers. When they say a sentence, I pause and imitate their intonation, emotion, and speed. It was difficult at first, but after a few weeks, I noticed a clear difference. Just 10 minutes of daily practice changed my voice. It became less robotic and more natural, lively, like a real person speaking English. Recording your voice every day, like an English diary. Every night before going to bed, I open my phone, turn on the recorder, and ask myself, "What did you learn in English today?" I answer, out loud in English. Even if I make mistakes or hesitate, I still speak it out. Today, I saw a video. It said, never give up. I feel inspired. I don't post it anywhere. I just save the recording. After 1 week, I listen back and am surprised. Oh, my voice sounds more natural now. I stumble less. Recording is not about showing off, but about seeing your own progress day by day. It's like taking before and after photos when working out. Each recording is a milestone, a mark of effort. Chatting with AI, practicing speaking without fear of judgment. One of the biggest obstacles I faced when learning English was the fear of being judged or making mistakes in front of others. This fear often froze me, making me hesitant to speak or practice. But everything changed when I discovered a new patient friend, AI chatbots. I started using platforms like Google Chat, Bing AI, and ChatGPT daily, having conversations without any pressure or fear of embarrassment. The best part? These AI companions never judged me or laughed at my mistakes. Instead, they listened patiently and helped me improve by gently correcting errors and explaining difficult concepts in a simple way. I would ask questions like, "Can you help me write a short message for my friend in English?" Or, "Can you explain this sentence in a simple way?" And the AI would always respond politely and clearly. This constant, non-judgmental interaction gave me the confidence to practice more and more. Over time, I realized that speaking English wasn't about perfection, but about communication and learning. By chatting with AI every day, I trained my mind to think faster in English and improved my ability to respond spontaneously, much like exercising a muscle to get stronger. This daily practice transformed my English from something intimidating into something natural and enjoyable. AI became not just a tool, but a supportive friend on my journey to fluency, helping me break free from the fear of speaking and encouraging me to keep going, no matter how many mistakes I made along the way. The journey of transformation begins with you. My journey of learning English wasn't a miraculous success story or an overnight achievement. It was a story about small steps, relentless persistence, and most importantly, a shift in mindset. I used to be terrified, shy, and disappointed with myself whenever I faced English. But it was those very moments of struggle that pushed me to change. I didn't have expensive courses or a native speaking environment. All I had was a phone, social media, and an unwavering determination. From cleansing my social media feeds to become a learning space, to absorbing motivational short videos, practicing pronunciation through YouTube, and chatting with AI to overcome the fear of judgment, step by step, I carved out my own unique path. What I want you to take away most is this: the world won't wait for anyone. If you want to change, if you want to open the doors to new opportunities, you have to start right now with whatever you have. English isn't just a language. It's a key that unlocks countless possibilities, new connections, and successes you may never have imagined. Believe in yourself, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every error is a lesson. Every effort brings you closer to your dreams. And along this journey, you're never alone. Turn everyday tools like social media and AI into your allies, and you will be amazed at the transformation you can achieve. Remember, it's not about perfection, but progress. It's about taking control of your own learning, embracing discomfort, and daring to speak even when you're unsure. The power to change your life lies in your hands, in your choices, and in your willingness to keep going despite setbacks. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it inspires you to embark on your own journey, a journey of growth, of mastering English, and of building a brighter future. No matter where you start, no matter how slow the progress, the important thing is to start. And once you do, the possibilities are endless. If you found my story helpful or inspiring, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more real-life learning journeys and practical tips. I'd love to hear from you too. Leave a comment below sharing your own English learning experience or any questions you have. Let's support each other on this path together.